me ask you a question. Your ultimate goal is to be an Olympian. 2 years from now, on June the 16th or so, in Atlanta, there's a little meet called the Olympic Trials. Most pressurized meet in America. Maybe in the world. Maybe the most pressurized championship that I've ever seen, because it comes up once every 4 years. You don't get to plan the day. You don't get to plan the place you're going to jump. You get one chance every 4 years. These people make tremendous sacrifice over a long period of time. They come together to compete. They have to be peaking on that day, and if they happen to be in the top 2 or 3, they get to go be an Olympian. So I'm sharing this. I say, Scott, is there going to be any pressure at that little meet in 2 years? Eyes rolling back in his head, about to throw up. He says, yeah. And I said, oh, really? And you're running from pressure now, but yet that's what you're going to be facing in 2 years. I said, what if you get through that little meet? Now there's another one in Atlanta a few weeks later. It's called the Olympic Games. How many people are going to be watching that, Scott? About 4 billion. Any pressure? Absolutely. And he's thinking, what are you doing to me? I thought you were going to help relieve this. He said, he's sick now. I said, Scott, here's the deal. If you want to reach your goal of a lifetime, you've got to go through pressure. There's never been a championship ever won in a vacuum, pressureless. I work with PGA players. I've seen them at the top and the bottom, and I guarantee you I've never seen one that wasn't shaking on the last green. Paul Azinger, when he won a few years ago, I think it was the PGA, he said he could hardly putt on the last green because his eyeballs were going with his heart. They were pulsating. Their heart's about to blow out of their chest. Nicholas said, if you're not nervous, you don't care. That's always there. These guys in New York the other night, man, they were on fire before the game. There's blood running through those veins. It is not a relaxed environment, and I don't teach people to be relaxed because you don't win relaxed. Pressure is an ally.
You will share the hopes and disappointments and the victories as David shares fascinating success stories from the best of the world's elite performers and leaders. Your spirit will be lifted when you see how they overcame obstacles to gain success. And these true life dramas will not only touch your heart and make you feel great, they will enable you to take back those same principles to apply them to your situation, to empower you to share in the same kind of success.
If I wake up every day and say, I'm going to go out there for Compaq and give 100%, I'm just going to leave it all on the table. I'm going to make sure that when I walk back in, I've done everything I can. That's a good goal. But I want to know in my business what separates goal setters, not only goal setters from others, but I studied in my lifetime as a professional all the goal setters. Let's put them in a big bunch right here. I want to know what separates the most successful of the goal setters versus the least successful of the goal setters. Those people that go out and say, I'm going to give 100%, they don't typically get to the top of the goal setting group. Here's what happens. The people that focus, those people that have a specific, tangible, self-referenced, difficult goal right in front of their face, those are the people that go the farthest. 28 minutes right in front of your eyes will take you farther than the attitude of, I'm going to give 100%. You've got to get away from being subjective in what you're going to do and be direct and tangible and specific. And I've seen some of that today on the slides that are up here. What are we about? What are we going to do? How are we going to get there? Define it, define it, define it. Stick it in front of your face and get after it and stare at it every day.
Personal excellence.
What's the mark you want to leave behind? See, that's what passion is about. What's the mark you want to leave behind in your family, in your community, in this company? When people remember you, what are they going to remember you for? See, passion is ignited by that.
Seeing change as an ally.
Change seems to be the greatest interference point today in business. And as we attack life, and as we attack our jobs, and as we attack these new things that we've been talking about here today, change is a part of the day. And for some people, change just knocks us off our feet because it moves so rapidly. In your industry, change is inevitable, and it comes at such a pace that you can hardly handle it.
and team
You're in
mindset.
small teams and coming together as a company. It all starts with people power. It's what's in your head, your heart, and your soul that's going to make this company great.
Focus, passion, mental toughness. 3 key ingredients for success in athletics or business. 3 keys to winning that make up the mindset of a champion. Dr. David Cook, PhD. Keynote speaker, seminar leader. Your key to sharing the vision and the success with your organization.
Hope, as he defined it, is the #1 variable predictor of success. Does this company have it? First question I asked Rick was, tell me about hope. I mean, you know, we have definitions of what we think hope, but what is this thing called hope? And he said, well, there's 2 variables in hope. There's 6 questions about this one variable, and there's 6 questions about another variable there, and there's one lie scale question that we put in just to make sure people are answering correctly. But there's 2 variables that make up this thing called hope. Of all of the things, he sifted it down to 2 variables that are the greatest predictors of success. Here they are. #1, goal orientation. You've heard about goals forever. I've seen some goals put up on these slides today. We all have goals. I want to share a couple of ideas about goals that maybe you haven't heard. And the #2 variable is mental toughness. The ability to go over, around, through, or under any obstacle that comes between you and your goal. People have an attitude, #1, I'm going somewhere, and #2, there's an intensity, or there's a direction, or there's a passion to that direction. People that are the greatest performers in the world, those people that succeed to a greater level than others, #1, know where they're going, and #2, they have an attitude, nothing is going to get in my way. The thing that I see that undermines potential more than anything, the #1 variable that we work with in athletics and companies and businesses and individuals, is the word interference. If you can handle interference, you've got a chance to reach your potential.
I wish I could share what it's like being a sports psychologist and being able to look in onto the lives of some of the greatest coaches and athletes and performers in the corporate world or performance in any other industry, and for you to see and hear what I hear. Have fun today. I trust you. I believe in you. I said, Coach, one is going to be sowing seeds of doubt. The other is going to be sowing seeds of trust and faith. And I guarantee you, folks, if I've learned one thing in this business, you want to go into the big event believing that you have the goods. And here's what happened. He said, first of all, he said, I'll think about it. And so the next day, he goes out on the courts, a national championship game, and he's made a great decision. He goes up to Kate and says, Kate, I trust you. Have fun today. The hay's in the barn. You're the best. Just play. He does it to Lisa, and he does it to Christy, and this is what happened. Kate Cernich, remember this name. She had averaged 1.4 kills per game. That's about 5 or 6 per match in her career. She's a sophomore. In the national championship game, she had 25 kills. Her previous high had been 15. She had 10 more than her PR. She single-handedly annihilated the University of Texas. They won the national championship. She was voted MVP of the game. She was all tournament. It was the most awesome performance. In fact, it set a record in the NCAA championship for the most kills in a game. Here's the girl he thought they were going to exploit. In fact, while we were talking on the phone, the USA coach was in a room with all the other coaches diagramming the game and said Texas will win because of the weak spot here. Now, the girls didn't hear that, and the coaching staff didn't hear that till later. He goes into the dressing room, and he gets down on a knee in front of Kate. Kate, what was the difference? What was the difference? You were awesome. She had tears rolling down her face, and she said, Coach, it's the first time you trusted me.
Tiger's so physically gifted, like you said, first of all, which sets him up to have the opportunity to be as good as he is. I think, as we were discussing a little bit earlier today, Tiger said something the other day that gave us a picture into his soul. The thing that he said before the last round, or after the last round of the PGA, he said, I started off a little shaky. They were asking him questions about that. He said, but if I knew if I stayed patient and I stayed in the present, I'd win this golf tournament. And those two comments right there show us what's inside this guy. It isn't astrophysics that makes a person mentally tough. It's a commitment to playing golf one shot at a time and having the ability, the uncanny ability to focus